This is the BLUETTI Solar Generator AC300 and B300K expansion battery, with two 200-watt solar panels included, sitting right here in front of me. I want to make this quick review as real as my experience has been, sharing everything from the initial unboxing feelings to the little details I noticed once things got set up here at the house. If you're brand new to solar generators or backup systems, I'll try to make things plain and simple, so you can quickly decide if it's a good fit for your home, RV, or any backup needs you're thinking about. Starting off about how it looks and feels, this kit is big and, honestly, pretty solid. The AC300 unit itself is a little bigger than a standard microwave and has this tough, squared-off look. The expansion battery, the B300K, is right underneath, kind of like a stackable drawer, but obviously much heavier. When you connect them, they feel like one reliable, almost industrial block of backup power. The colors are pretty clean, black and gray, with a tough, grippy handle on each side, which is nice because with almost 145 pounds for the whole set, you're going to need those handles. It's honestly not something you want to be moving often once it's set up, unless you have a cart or help. On the front, the screen is bright and shows real-time info about everything, from the amount of solar coming in, battery percentage, and how many watts you're pulling. Moving on to my actual experience. When I first got the system, the main thing on my mind was reliability. Where I live, power outages happen at least a few times a year, and I wanted something to cover the basics: fridge, lights, internet, and maybe even the well pump for water. I unpacked everything and went step by step through the setup. The instructions are pretty clear, and the actual plug-and-play feel is real. Plug the battery into the unit, connect up the solar panels, and you're halfway there. I remember checking the touchscreen, seeing the first signs of power flowing in from the panels, and it felt good knowing the sun was already working for me. As for everyday use, it's been straightforward. A couple mornings ago, the power went out for about 5 hours. I flipped the switch and the AC300 took over instantly thanks to the UPS feature. My fridge didn't even blink, internet was up, and I even made coffee. I have it running mostly off solar during the day, feeding in energy when the sun's out, and the rest of the time, it works like a battery backup. I saw the power meter on the display showing how much the house used and how much I was pulling from the sun. I appreciated this because, coming from a basic backup generator, I never had this kind of insight before. Here's what I really like: the capacity. With the B300K expansion battery, I've doubled the total storage. Each battery is rated for 2,764.8 watt, which in plain terms means a ton of juice. You can add more batteries if you want, up to 4 total, so if your needs ever grow, you don't have to buy a whole new setup. Another thing I appreciate is pure versatility. The AC300 has 7 AC outlets, including a 30A RV hookup, USB-C, USB-A, wireless charging, and a carport. As someone who sometimes takes road trips in my RV, I love that it's ready for that. No special adapters needed. The two 200-watt solar panels are big, foldable, and surprisingly light. Setup is less than 5 minutes, and even on a partly cloudy day, I still get a pretty good amount of power. Speaking of features, it's honestly user-friendly. The display tells you everything: input, output, battery status, and settings. For anyone who's new, you can see at a glance if you're charging more than you're using, or if you need to adjust how you're powering stuff at home. I messed around with some of the menus to check daily energy usage and to see details on each battery. My original battery was 100% charged, while the new one showed 63% right out of the box. The PV input, which means photovoltaic or solar, section tells you how much voltage and how many watts are coming in from each panel. It helped me figure out that one panel was shaded and the other was in strong sun, so I could adjust placement. Another practical feature is the UPS mode. That means uninterruptible power supply. And basically, if the grid goes down, the system automatically takes over, so my devices never even notice. For peace of mind, especially if you work from home or have medical equipment, this is a must. Now, let's talk about the things that weren't my favorite. Number 1 is the weight. When I first unpacked the BLUETTI AC300 and the B300K battery, I had a moment of regret. I really should have had somebody help me. Together, they're heavier than you might expect, and it's not something you'll want to move often. If it's set up for backup in your garage, it's great, but for camping trips, you'll probably need a dolly or hand truck. The other thing that gave me pause was set up for the advanced features. Hooking the system up to act as a UPS for my whole home sounded great until I realized I needed a licensed electrician and a special transfer switch. I use a Reliant transfer switch, but after reading and watching online, I saw that BLUETTI recommends using their own switch, which would mean redoing some electrical work I just finished. I held off on going full split-phase backup, which means powering both sides of your home's electrical panel, partly because I wasn't ready to redo my setup, and partly because I heard some people had trouble with compatibility. If you plan to use split-phase for big loads like a deep well, do your homework and consider calling an electrician. Price is another thing to be aware of. This isn't the cheapest backup solution out there, and the upfront investment is higher than many basic generators. For me, considering the zero fuel costs, clean energy, nearly silent operation, and all the expandability, I still think it's worth it. Also, while the interface is user-friendly, I wish there was a quick, easy way to check total energy produced and total energy used by day or week, right on the main screen. In conclusion, from my experience, the BLUETTI Solar Generator AC300 and B300K expansion battery is a serious, reliable backup power solution that just works, whether you're trying to keep your home safe during a storm or need juice for off-grid adventures. I'd recommend this for anyone who values quiet power, wants to start with a smaller kit and expand later, or is tired of relying on gas and noisy engines. If portability is your priority, just keep in mind the weight and maybe look for a cart. It's perfect for home backup, powering essential appliances in an emergency, or for anyone looking to cut energy costs and go a bit greener. The real-time display and the ability to customize your setup from day one are a huge plus in my book. That's my quick review. Thanks for sticking around while I shared my experience with the BLUETTI Solar Generator AC300 and B300K expansion battery. If you've got questions or your own stories about using this or other solar generators, drop a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe for more honest, real-life reviews. Thank you for watching.